What up, bitches? Welcome back to Law of Attraction Changed My Life. I am your host, Francesca Amber, and guess what? I'm back from my holiday with a tan, with some great holiday memories, and perhaps a fake Chanel bag. Oh, who's been to Turkey? Do you know what? I actually did want to talk about this quickly right at the top of this episode, is that you get to make the rules for your own goddamn life. You don't have to do what everyone else says you got to do. So Turkey, obviously, everyone's going there for their teeth. Everyone's going there to get their new tits. Everyone's going there to get their bum done. Everyone's going there to get fake designer shit. And I'm not a fake designer lover. I have not really had anything fake before. Anything designer that I have has been very intentional purposes, very intentional upgrades when I have done certain wealth books or money mindset work. I don't actually really value or desire designer things. I don't actually think that they're massively worth the money. Just for me, I'm not that into it. I ain't into it. I'd rather spend that money on like converting my garage or doing another extension on my house, or do you know what I mean? Like, I just ain't about that designer life. However, at Christmas, I went to Selfridges with my friend Sam, and I was like, I am a deserving wealthy woman. I should get myself a lovely Christmas present. And I bought myself a Chanel bag. And so many of you messaged me on social media and was like, Fran, don't you know Chanel is a huge supporter of Israel? We know you're pro-Palestine. You should definitely not have this bag. And it sat in a bag in my office for about a month. And I really wanted the bag. I really loved it. But I also did not want to go against my values, because that is something that is really important. How we live our lives, whether people are looking or not, how we treat other people, how we spend our money, whether we are being ethical or not. And everyone's of a definition of ethical is going to be different. For some people, being ethical is not wearing leather and being vegan. For other people, it's only holidaying in certain places. For some of us, it's not buying certain designer brands because they support an oppressor. So I took the bag back. I took it back and I got a refund. And I was like, I love the bag, but I cannot support this cause. I don't want to support this. I don't want to support this brand. And so when I went to Turkey, I found myself a goddamn fake. And there were English girls in this shop being like, everyone knows I've come to Turkey, so I'm going to hide this bag away for like 6 months, and then I'm going to pretend I got it for Christmas so no one associates it with Turkey and knows it's fake. And all these people trying to make sure that no one knows that it's a fake. Everyone's got to believe it's genuine. Look at the inside. Look at this strap. Look at this. Look at this. I don't give a shit. I am saying this at the top of this episode. If you see me with a beautiful silver Chanel bag, that shit ain't real, bitches. I'm a wealthy woman. I could afford a real one. I don't want a real one. Now, you may be thinking, why would you be shouting about having a fake bag? Like, that's something people feel like a bit embarrassed about. I don't give a shit, man. I want people to know that I would not spend my money with that brand, but I really loved the look of the bag. And actually, I feel kind of badass, like, devaluing that brand by taking a fake, you know. I kind of love that vibe for me. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I don't know what my point is here, but you don't have to conform to what other people are doing. Either have a very, very, very expensive bag, but if you get a fake, keep it hidden, keep it secret. Don't let anyone know it's fake. Try and get it. No. You're allowed to spend your money on whatever you fucking want, and you're allowed to have your values and have your ethics and do things in a way that suits you. So anyway, on with the actual episode. I was listening to a podcast on the aeroplane home, and it was all about how to be the most successful person you know. And when I heard that title, I was like, okay, colour me intrigued, because I feel like you should only ever be in competition with yourself, right? So being the most successful person you know, being the richest person you know, being the I don't know, whatever person you know, that's always a bit of a pre-warning for disappointment, because comparing yourself to others can be very, very detrimental. So yes, we should only want to be in competition with ourselves. And yes, having jealousy and getting into a victim mentality when we compare ourselves to others is incredibly negative. So for me, it could be, well, I could be that successful if I wasn't a single mum. I could be that successful if I wasn't a woman. I could be that successful or rich if I had a degree. That's victim mentality. That is going into what is holding you back, what is making you jealous of other people, why they're ahead and you're not. But you can always turn it around, and comparing yourself to others can actually be a positive. You can actually use it as inspiration. You can use this to see what is possible for you. If somebody else has achieved something incredible that you would like to achieve, rather than thinking that is something that's just simply destined for that particular person and never for you, you can start to see, wow, this person has shown me that it is possible. So yes, comparison can be negative, but if we use it in the right way, it can totally be inspiration. Now, when you get to the end of your life, imagine you're on your deathbed. Sorry to go so dark so early, but here we go. Imagine you're on your deathbed and you are looking back at your life, but also the lives of all of the people around you. How do you think you will determine who has been the most successful person that you have known in this lifetime? How will you determine that when you are on your deathbed? Will it be your friend that had the huge house, the biggest house out of everybody? Or will it be your friend that had the fastest car, always had the newest car, the latest model? Will it be somebody that had a huge business in several countries? I don't know, whatever. These are typical societal measures of success. These are the measures of success that society tell us this is what's important. This is how we value people. This is how we measure our success. But I'll bet you the person that has been most successful at life is the person that has enjoyed their life the most. And if that friend that had the huge house was always massively stressed out because they were always overworking and they had huge mortgages and huge bills to pay, and they were overwhelmed and miserable, or maybe the person that always had the latest model of car was always comparing themselves to others and was trying to keep up with the Joneses and felt like they always had to work harder and harder to keep up with this lifestyle. If those people were stressed out, overwhelmed, miserable, always so busy that they couldn't stop and enjoy what they had, then that is not a measure of a successful life at all. Measurable, tangible goods like having the biggest house, having the nicest car, having the big business, these are all goods and assets that most think that's what makes life successful. But it really is the person who genuinely enjoyed many, many moments in their life, day to day. They didn't wait until they were rich. They didn't wait until they were skinny. They didn't wait until they found the love of their life. They enjoyed life regardless. And when they felt happy and fulfilled, I'm not saying every day, because look, we all have those days where we're like, oh, please God, why me? We all have those days, okay? And sometimes those days turn into little seasons, and we allow that. It's part of the tapestry of life, bitches. But if you can enjoy life and be present and feel fulfilled, that's the fucking secret, man. That is the secret. That is going to be the person that was most successful in life. Now, we learnt this a little bit in the book, The Power of Fun. This is the book we just finished in the book club. They talk about how fun is really important. It's really important to prioritize fun in your life. But it's really hard to enjoy life if you have very stressful relationships. It's hard to enjoy life and have fun if you have bad health. It's hard to enjoy life if you have a job you hate, if you have very little freedom, or if you're poor. If you have severe money worries, you will find it very difficult to enjoy life. So we want to focus on the things that we can change in life. And as we work on ourselves through self-development, you will have the power to change more and more about your life. So we often find this when we first start out with manifesting or the law of attraction or self-development, we'll think that we can change these little tiny things about our days, these little things about our lives. And as we learn more, we realize those huge obstacles that we thought were just part of our life that we were unable to change. We suddenly realize, hey, I'm the architect of my own goddamn life, y'all. I can change whatever I fucking like about my life. Now, let's talk about how you can master certain areas of your life and totally be failing at others. This is very, very common. And these areas that we are failing at, these will be real pain points for us. So you can have somebody that is very rich in money terms and great in business, has a great thriving business, has the nice house, has complete financial freedom, and yet they are in an unhappy marriage. They are in a unaligned, stressful marriage with the wrong person. And guess what? It doesn't matter how much money you have. You're going to be unhappy because you are in that shitty marriage. Now, you can have a really great mindset. You can spend a lot of time and energy on working on your self-development and feel really great within your own mental health and your own mindset and how you feel inside. But you can also at the same time be in very, very unhealthy habits for your physical body. This is a very common thing. This is something that I struggled with for years. You can have very unhealthy habits where your diet or exercise is concerned. And that can really worry you, especially if you're a parent. You can feel like, oh my God, I'm setting bad examples for my children. I'm getting more and more unhealthy as the years go on. This is only going to get worse. What if I end up dying young and I leave my children? Oh, and that is going to be hanging over you no matter how much you work on your great mindset. So I guess the lesson here is that you need to really look at your life. And a great way to do this is using a wheel of life. You can find this anywhere, online, Google, Pinterest, the dark web, I don't know. You can find it anywhere, a wheel of life. And you can find out using that which area of your life is falling short. Which area of your life are you struggling with? If you can sort out the areas that you are really struggling with, it is going to lift up every other area of your life. And the reason we obviously want to do this is because once you have created a life that you love in all areas, that is true happiness, that is true freedom, and that is ultimately what success is. That is how to be the most successful version of yourself. Now, I recently have been on 2 holidays, and I find holidays are very, very leveling. It's a little bit like when we had lockdown. Everyone was in the same situation. No one could go out. Everyone was stuck at home. And holidays are the same. I especially find this for hen parties or group holidays. And I've talked about this many times in the book club about how I always get so intrigued when you get a group of people on either a hen party or a group holiday. I'm always so intrigued to know, like, we're all staying in the same hotel, we're all doing the same activities, but everyone goes home to such different lives. And not only do people go back to different areas, different types of homes, different types of relationships, different jobs, different experiences, different lives in general. And that is so interesting to me. I also love to see how people treat themselves on that same holiday. So you'll all be in that same environment, right? And you'll get some people that will get up and go for a run along the beach every morning before sunrise, before everyone else has woken up. You might get the other person that doesn't even make it out of bed for breakfast. You will get the people that are having the time of their lives and living in the moment and really enjoying it. And you'll get the other people that are a little bit overwhelmed and stressed out and not having a great time. And I just find it so interesting when you're on holidays like that to really just observe other people. And I must admit, sometimes, in the past, I've tended to be that person who was waking up late and maybe not always having the best time. And it's only over the last few years, while I've been really working on my self-development, that I found, last year I went to Mexico and I made a habit of getting up every morning, partially due to the jet lag, I will admit. But I would get up and I would go out on the terrace outside overlooking the ocean, and I would write my gratitude list, and I'd have like a little miracle morning before anyone else had woken up. And there was one other girl that would get up and do yoga. And that little act really was a big thing for me, because I was like, wow, I never used to be the sort of person that would do this kind of stuff. And so, like I say, I used to go on holidays with big groups, and I would always be so like, I don't want to use the word envious, but I'd look at other people's lives and I would always go home like inspired and be like, I want to be better. I want to have a better job, or I want to live somewhere better, and I want to be more like this, I want to be more like that. And I got to say, I just came back from 2 holidays, and what I noticed was I didn't have that massive inspo coming away and thinking, I want to be a better person. I want to do this better. I didn't have that. Instead, I just felt really, really content with my life. I felt really happy with how I treated myself while I was away. I felt really happy with how I treated my family and my children. I was excited to get back home to where I live, my work, my family, my friends, my routine, my future plans. I just was really happy and content with my life. And let me know, am I the only one that feels like this when you go on holiday, you sort of come back and you assess your life with fresh eyes? I'd say, if anything, the only thing I've felt inspo about was I really want to continue on my health is wealth mission this year of healthy eating and exercise and treating my body like the temple it is. That's the only kind of inspo I really came away with. So if you've ever been on holiday with a group of people and it highlights to you that maybe your relationship isn't the best that it could be, it's maybe fallen a little bit into disrepair, maybe your home life, your career, whatever it might be, maybe even your friendship circle, it might shine a light on things that are not working out 100% in your life for you. And that's absolutely fine. To become aware of it and to admit it is like the first step, and then you can start to work on it. Now, in this podcast, it also talked about something that I found so interesting. And this is the idea of inner freedom and outer freedom. Now, inner freedom is the freedom to choose how we feel in any given moment, regardless of how shitty your life is at that time. And this is a really powerful tool and technique and mindset to cultivate, because we are always going to come up against things that are difficult. We are always going to come up against things that make us feel like we are being left behind or left out, or it's not fair. But if we can cultivate a mindset where we can choose to feel inspired, motivated, dedicated, rather than feeling disempowered, that is really powerful. Now, outer freedom is different. Outer freedom is your physical, mental, financial, even relational, all your relationships, those areas of your life. And you've worked hard on those areas to get them right and to create wins in those areas. And when I was listening to this podcast, it was actually Hal Elrod. I don't know if you've heard of him. He said that he has a screensaver on his phone that says, "My goal is to wake up every morning feeling overwhelmingly thankful for the kind of life I have created for myself." I'll say it again for the bitches in the back. My goal is to wake up every morning feeling overwhelmingly thankful for the kind of life I have created for myself. Now, what's interesting about that affirmation, that statement, whatever you want to call it, is that is a real blend of both inner freedom and outer freedom. So the inner freedom part is I choose to wake up feeling thankful. That is real inner freedom. We are choosing how to feel and how to experience life. And it doesn't matter whether you are waking up on a mattress on the floor, or on someone's sofa, or in your bed in your dream house, or on holiday, or with the love of your life, or single, or however you're waking up, choosing to wake up feeling thankful, that is your inner freedom to choose. But the last part of that affirmation, the kind of life that I have created for myself, that is outer freedom. And outer freedom is that you are not tolerating hard circumstances. You are actually enjoying what you have manifested into your life. You are enjoying what you have created. You are the architect of your own life. You are consciously creating the kind of life that you want through your work, through your friendships, through your family, through your home life, through your environment, through your job, through all of these different aspects of your life, right? The way that you treat your body, your health, everything. And that is something that you have created for yourself. That is outer freedom. Now, we work hard on creating and designing the life that we want. And that is something to recognize and be really proud of. So I spend my conscious energy working on my health, making sure I have movement every day, making sure I get 10,000 steps in, making sure that I eat well. I read self-development books addictively. Like, I love self-development books. I read them and I implement them every single month through my book club. I research parenting theories and I live by the ones that feel true and right to me. And that will really affect how you feel as a person. I once went through a phase where I was like, these children will sleep in their own room. And I really went against my attachment parenting theories. And I didn't feel great in myself because I was going against what I believe in. I'm consciously aware of my screen life balance so that I am present and I have enough time and energy for my real life. And that is a real conscious decision to be aware of my screen life balance and to put things into place to make sure that my screen doesn't overtake my life. I've cultivated interests and hobbies and passions that increase my social capital, like working on my podcast and my book club, and I take pole dancing lessons, and I do all these things that increase my social capital. I take time for self-care so that I feel good about myself. I spend time and energy on nurturing friendships. I listen to subliminals and I have tools and techniques that grow my business and expand my wealth. All that stuff that I just mentioned, that is all intentional. It's all intentional. So yes, it's great to have gratitude for your circumstances no matter what. That's the first part of the affirmation. That is the inner freedom. But also to have gratitude for what you have already created and achieved in your life. That is the outer freedom. So how do you feel about that statement? I'm going to read it to you again. My goal is to wake up every morning feeling overwhelmingly thankful for the kind of life I have created for myself. How you feel about that statement tells you where you need to do the most work. Is it your inner or your outer world? Is your outer world actually pretty fucking blessed, but you're walking around looking at the negatives rather than in all the ways that you are blessed? Or are you just working on your mindset and working on, like, I must see the positive in everything. Even in difficult situations, I must see the positive in anything, but you're not actually taking steps to create the outer world that you desire. Because we do create our lives. You only need to look at the lives of your 5 closest friends, or say look at the lives of 3 of your school friends, right? One might have decided to get married young, have 10 children and live in the countryside. Another one might have decided to stay single and travel the world and has got a higher powered job somewhere. Another one might have decided to move countries. All of those people, whether consciously or unconsciously, they have created those lives just in the same way that you have created yours. And that is a very empowering thing to be told, because although that may be painful to begin with, to be like, I didn't ask for these shitty circumstances, we take back our power by consciously curating and creating the life that we want and taking back that control. So I hope that this episode has been useful for you. I hope that you've got some value from this. If you want to make that screensaver for yourself, I'm actually going to put it on my Instagram. I'm going to make it into like a pretty picture. So if you want to take that and use it as your screensaver on your phone, I will be putting it over there. If you're not following me on Instagram already, what are you doing with your life? I'm at Francesca Amber or at Law of Attraction. Changed my life. If you want to come and join me in the book club, get ready, bitches. We start tomorrow. Yes, Saturday, the 1st of June. And if you're listening to this in the future, it matters not, because you can go back and listen to any of the books that we've done at any given time. But in June, we are reading The Goddess Path by Kirsty Gallagher. And get excited, because your girl Kirsty is going to be right here on the podcast next week, talking all things divine feminine energy, self-worth, boundaries, intuition, feminine power, healing your witch and sister wound, seasons and cycles, and being the goddess that you truly are. We are here to awaken our goddesses. Come on. I'm ready. If you want to come and join us, I shall leave the link down below, or you can just go to francescaamber.com and you'll find more information about the book club there. You can either read the book, you can listen to the book on Audible and then listen to the podcast episodes, or some people are super lazy and just like to listen to the podcast episodes, where basically I break it down, I pick out my favorite aspects, I go through each chapter, I tell you how it's working in my life and how it can work in yours, and it's just fucking amazing. I honestly do feel like every month that passes and there's certain people that keep saying they're going to join the book club and then they don't, I'm like, man, we're getting further and further along our journey, and every book further along that we're going, I feel like, I don't like to say people are getting left behind, but I'm like, I wish you knew all this stuff that we've been working on, because we've been doing this shit for 3 years now. We're taking this shit seriously. And you see those things on Instagram where they say like, oh, become the most interesting woman in the room, read these 12 books. That's basically how we're living our goddamn lives. Ask us about cyclical living. Ask us about intentional decluttering. Ask us about feng shui. Ask us about money mindset. We've been working on it all, and it's so... Ask us about dressing for the life you want. Ask us about just everything. I fucking love it. I literally live, breathe and die this book club. I absolutely love it. So if you want to come and join us, no pressure. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a cult. It's not a coven. It's just a book club, but it's pretty goddamn life-changing. I will just say that. Right, I'm off for a lash appointment, bitches. I will see you next week. The law of attraction has changed my life. It's going to change yours too, bitch. Bye.